doors open, kids find a safe space. Death 3 gaming doc fights the grind each day. From the joystick low to the streets ballet. She's the voice that echoes the restless hum. Hardcore hero where the city drums. And dreams are bred. The city roars, but her wheels still roll. Streaming at night with a fierce heart soul. Death 3 gaming doc fights the grind each day. From the joystick low to the streets ballet. She's the voice that echoes the restless hum. Hardcore hero where the city drums. Cheer when her streams go live. Green glow shining, she makes them thrive. Kids in the morning don't see her night. She hides battles fought by screens, strange light. Driving their futures down bustling streets, filling small lives with the simple beats. She carries their dreams while chasing her own. Walking roads never leave her alone. Cali where the sun went red. Found a home where chaos and dreams are bred. The city roars, but her wheels still roll. Streaming at night with her fierce heart soul. They laugh, they cheer when her streams go live. Green glow shining, she makes them thrive. Kids in the morning don't see her night. She hides battles fought by screens, strange light. Driving their futures down bustling streets, filling small lives with the simple beats. She carries their dreams while chasing her own. Winding roads never leave her alone.
Well, greetings, gamers. This is Dr. Eileen, Driver Eileen, aka the Gaming Doc, and this is your place and your space to laugh, to chat, to chill, to hang out, to take a moment, to take a break, to take a breath, and say Happy Friday! We made it to Friday! We made it, Arby! We made it through the week. Oh my goodness gracious. And now we come to the weekend. What are y'all doing for the weekend? But first, and however, we must acknowledge our first 3 champions across the gate coming in. Choke. For the gold, my Eagle of Iron, Iron Eagle, coming in for the silver. One of my absolutely favorite movies, Lady Hawk. And coming in for the bronze with the southbound end of a northbound unicorn, and it's raining beans. Hallelujah. Gimme beans, champions. Just like at the Olympics, take your places on your risers. Wrap yourselves in your national flags as we play your national anthems. Yes. And, oh my goodness, Lady Hawk subscribed at tier 1. They've subscribed for 4 months. Lady Hawk. That is so cool. Oh my gosh. And what do we do for that? Love train. Gah, 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 gah. Yes, thank Thank you so much for the sub, Lady Hawk. You are such a sweetheart. And Captain Firebeard himself, Fire Nutter. Hello, hello. Iron Eagle bringing in with the hydrate. Oh my goodness. And it is weather for hydration. Currently sitting at player level 750 on my main Roblox game. Fishbone Play 5. And Fire Nutter got a resub thanks to IR Mischief, who gifted a 12-month subscription. Yes! And hi, Fire Nutter. Hi, Kimmy Beansart. Hi. Dr. Mythos! A riddle wrapped in a conundrum surrounded by a puddle? Puzzle. Englishing. The mythos. The only thing that is not mythical is how amazing you are. Morning/afternoon. It's Friday. Yes. But oh boy, it's been a long 750 player level grind, much longer than I anticipated. And you overcame it. You grabbed that objective right by the ears and said, "Not today. You are going to bend to my will, the will of Captain Firebeard. And if it takes a long time, that's okay. It's fun. Woo! Red! Yeah. Calm. Hello, Red. How are you? What is up? What is happening? How you been? Oh my goodness, y'all, it is Friday. And you know, when you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and drive a school bus for kids, and then you do janitorial work, and you know you have the entire day that you're going to be doing stuff, and in the evening when I get back and all I want to do, and all the other bus drivers are, talking about, leaving, and they all get to go, and I know I've got like another hour's worth of cleaning that I have to do, and taking out the garbage, and whether it's -10 or 110 outside, I've got to haul the garbage out across the lot to the bins. Yeah, it's there are times when I reach Friday, like Thursday night, I'll go, "Oh, is this really what I want to do?" And then Friday comes and I make it through Friday. And then as I rest over the weekend, it's like, "Okay, I can do this for another week." And my summer car with mods. Hello, hello. Well, I have some less good news. What? Weird dreams lately. Ooh, we love talking about dreams. I shall get my level 1667 player level. I will have came. I will have seen. I will kick some raid boss. Sorry, bass. Adults know to minus the B. Dinner and movie tonight. I think that would be amazing. Which one? Which one are we going to do? And if we're having pizza, be prepared to smell anchovies. There will be anchovies involved. But yes, that sounds absolutely wonderful. Folks, welcome in the inimitable, the amazing, the absolutely awesome, my housemate, Jay Stunzy, the king of New York, the reigning monarch of Staten Island, and I will hear no argument to the opposite, who is my OBJ Stunzobi in almost all things Staten Island, all things gaming, all things computer, all things bus driving, all things, who is amazing. And Friday nights is dinner and movie night. We hadn't done it for a while. We're back. We have to figure out what movie we're doing. And like I said, if pizza's going to be involved, I'm having anchovies on it. Today's goal met. Yes, all dishes in my house are clean. You've got all the dishes in your house clean. Okay, we're gonna dance for that. Dishes done! Also, this is for Fire Nutter at 750 levels. Accomplishments going into the weekend. Yes! This is the celebration. Lurking! Psyduck, my absolutely favorite Pokemon. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you. Nope, not happening. Oh, come on. Open yourself to new experiences. Well, I had a depression test and I scored 19 out of 20. Oh, sweetheart. Well, knowledge is power. And by breaking down the parts of it that kind of lean into that direction, it allows you to actually, I mean, it's a lot easier to get to where you want to be if you've got a roadmap and especially if you know where you're starting. I mean, and first off, it's not 20 out of 20. So let's hang on to that little victory. And the thing is that once you realize what is really there and you have the ability to unpack it, that allows you to be able to, bring that into something that you can choose. It takes it out of just randomness into choice. And sometimes, life is fun till it isn't, and it sucks till it doesn't. And sometimes the sucks till it doesn't part is pretty bad. And it is where you are. It is not what you are. It is where you are. It is not where you can be. And in considering that the things in your life that have led you to this point, those things that have challenged you, yes, they can weigh on your body, your mind, and your spirit, and they're not more powerful than you because you have overcome 100% of everything. The events in your life that led to that scoring, each one you overcame. It may not have been pretty and it may not have been the solution you wanted, but you did overcome it. Even your absolute worst thoughts and those memories of those times, when you think of those times that you really didn't know how you were going to get out, you didn't know what you were going to do, you saw no solution. Every single one of those times is a memory now. And you didn't overcome it by accident. You overcame it because there is something inside of you that is willing to still fight. Because the thing is, if it were beyond that, you wouldn't have even had the strength to take the test. It wouldn't have mattered. Nothing would have mattered. But there's that thing, that light inside of you that no matter what, it can't be extinguished. And, the if there's dissatisfaction with the way things are going, that means you still have fight within you. And whatever it is coming down your path, first off, know that it's not bigger than you. Second, know that you've got a place to bring it. That, I mean, you can talk about stuff like that here. And the thing is, the best part is that there are a lot of people here who can relate. I mean, nobody knows exactly what anybody's going through, but you've got a lot of folks here who understand because they've walked a similar path. And, they can talk about the things that have worked for them. It doesn't mean that it'll work for you. It doesn't mean that it won't work for you, but you're understood here. It's okay not to be okay. And the first step in getting okay is becoming comfortable with the fact that it's okay not to be. That this is a part of your journey. And when I was little, I used to be told that life was a tiny dash between two dates on a headstone. And neither one of those dates matters as much as how much we fit in that tiny dash. And a part of what we fit into that tiny dash are those times when, all is not well in the kingdom. And that is, take those results like a photograph. It's a snapshot of where you are in one moment. It's not where you stay. It's not where you've always been, and it's not where you'll always be. But it's a snapshot to pay attention to right now, sort of like a medical test. Jason Z, no. Doc, the hottest hottie on Twitch. Ah, see, look at that. I'm hot. Arby tells me to get real with myself, but that's okay. We all need a friend who would tell us to get real with ourselves. Assuming Doc is still going for that bus conversion, I'd be looking forward to the day that she can stream from some rather scenic, soothing locations on the road as an idea, almost like she could, in fact, do a cross country medicine walk road trip as an idea. Fire Nutter. Great minds think alike because when I do get that conversion, and I will one day, then I am going to be streaming from like, the Grand Canyon and next to a lake and next to the ocean and all that stuff, and y'all are going with me. So Fire Nutter, absolutely 100% that is happening. It was kind of a nod to the ghost thing. I was in a dream at Disney with my mom, who is in a power wheelchair, and there was a DJ setting up, but there was no sound. So I checked my cell phone, and there was a push notification, and I clicked on it, and then I was looking through my cell phone camera on the screen, and the whole world around me was augmented reality with the DJ and ghosts and trippy stuff. And I kept turning it off and on, but it was very real. Whole other world on my cell phone as we walked. Ooh, that is a very interesting dream where you're getting a peek into a totally different reality. I think that would be cool. And it's interesting, Disneyland, because one of my favorite rides at Disneyland has always been the Haunted Mansion. And, I mean, that and the pirate thing, but the Haunted Mansion, and anybody who's been on it, you reach the end of the ride, and then as you're sitting in the thing, it swings around and you go in front of a mirror, and it's like there's a spirit that's sitting in between you. But I mean, that is actually very cool that, through a separate medium, a different reality gets exposed. That is actually very neat. I am intrigued by that dream because there's all kinds of places it could go. And Kimmy Beans, I'm tired. Boy, am I tired. Well, then rest. And, and being tired is definitely a part of the healing process. So, I'm glad that, yeah, and also it does, being tired actually kind of indicates that you are moving in through the healing, because being tired, what that means is that your body is no longer in like an adrenal type of situation, because whenever we, like, when we're in pain, and I'm sure there's probably still some pain, but if we're in pain up to a certain level, we can't relax because our bodies go into that adrenal reaction of I'm in danger, fight, flight, or freeze. So the fact that you are now getting tired, it means that the adrenaline has gone down back to normal levels, that your body does not see itself in an immediate threat, which means that it is actually actively, participating in the healing process. So, yeah, I mean, it's sort of like, when you're in a crisis mode and you're totally awake, you're not sleepy, and then once everything calms down, you feel like you're going to keel over. So where should I put my last comment in? So it helps remind you, Doc. Let's put that in inspiring thoughts. Because that is going to continue to inspire me to work hard to make that happen. Do you watch TV shows? You know what? I really don't watch that much TV. I mean, sometimes I'll throw on YouTube. Um, I used to love watching like BBC. I love British comedies. I mean, if you know, you know. One of my favorites was Keeping Up Appearances, although I loved watching the reruns of Red Dwarf. Fist bump, high five for Red Dwarf. And let's see. I mean, like some of the British mysteries. But other shows, what were other shows I used to watch? I was I'm when I would watch TV, I was very much into like, because usually I didn't get home until the evening, And so I liked watching reruns of old series I liked, and one of them was Golden Girls. I'm sorry, Golden Girls should be a movie. Even though I most of them, let's see, are there any Golden Girls? No. Somebody check that if any of the Golden Girls are still alive, because I thought that they had all passed. I could be wrong. Somebody Google Golden Girls. Not much pain left. Yay! They're posted. Thank you. They're all dead. Okay, thank you, Jay. I thought so. I think what Rue McClanahan was the last one. OMG, I still watch Murder She Wrote every day. Oh my gosh, Murder She Wrote. I used to love that. Oh, Betty White was the last. Thank you for letting me know. But oh yeah, Murder She Wrote, and on the BBC they had this one series called Hetty Wainthropp Mysteries, and it was the same lady who played the lead role in Keeping Up Appearances, and Patricia Routledge is the actress. And oh my gosh, I just loved her in that. And one of the guys who played a hobbit, Dominic Monaghan, he was a young Dominic Monaghan was in that. I remember the order was Estelle, Dorothy, Blanche, and then Rose died. Ah, okay. All right. The dream got worse though. We ended up on top of the highest trail, and the fireworks show started, and there was a giant raft log slide next to us. And my mom wanted to leave, but the trail was packed with people. So she took a shortcut and drove into across the water at the top of the slide, which was turned off because it was late, and ended up needing help. And I couldn't get her out. Eventually, Disney called a helicopter to get her out, but not before NASA got to land her to pick up and package her wheelchair. Although Estelle and Dorothy might be switched. I mean, I'm sure it was close enough. That is interesting when you have like these dreams that have these multiple levels. And okay, one of the most frustrating, and see, I can generally almost all the time I can lucid dream. And lucid dreaming, and any of you who has had this experience, basically lucid dreaming is when your brain is consciously aware that you are dreaming, but you don't wake up. Normally, when we realize we're dreaming, the brain wakes us up because basically, we shift into conscious thought. Lucid dreaming is when you can realize you're dreaming, but the dream continues. Your brain doesn't wake you up. And the coolest part about that is at that point, you can do anything you want because, you know, the dream world exists based on what you think. And you can make conscious decisions while remaining in the dream world, which is tremendously cool. But one of the things that now, if I become really irritated or upset in a dream, and usually it's like something either aggravates me, and it's when I dream that there's someone I care about, like, and usually it's like my sons when they were young, or children who I deal with, or somebody, they put themselves in a dangerous situation, like they walk out onto thin ice onto a lake, and I'm trying to stop them, and they don't listen to me. Have you ever had that in a dream where you get upset because you're trying to protect somebody and they seem to be going out of their way to put themselves into danger and cannot understand that they're in danger? I relate to that. I relate to that, Red. And to me, that's like the most frustrating dream I can have. I mean, because if something's happening and it's like a nightmare, I can lucid dream out of. I can go, oh, wait a minute, nope, I'm changing this, and but when I get really frustrated, especially like if it was like my sons when they were little, or somebody who doesn't know any better, and I'm getting really frustrated because I'm not afraid for me, I'm afraid for them, and I'm tremendously frustrated because they keep putting themselves in risky situations that I know are going to go badly, but it's like they don't care. I was going to recommend a show called Lanterns. It's about Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, and John Stewart. Oh, and aren't there like multiple colors with the lanterns? I thought I remembered a comic book that said that there were multiple lantern colors. Please confirm that for me. Yeah, Sophia died in 2008, Dorothy in 2009. See, I thought they were fairly close together. Blanche in 2010, and Betty White in 2021. Really? It was that long ago. Wow. And then they took us to find a hotel, and we ended up at a hotel that was a duplicate of my late grandparents' house. Ooh. When I was really focused on a dream and wake up, I've been known to go back in and fight the groups that attacked me in a previous dream. Yeah, that's sort of a that's like an extension of lucid dreaming. And I used to do that when I was little a lot. If I had a nightmare and I woke up, I would figure out, like, okay, from the moment I woke up, I would resolve it and bring a resolution in. And then when I went back to sleep, I came in at the point of that resolution, which was really fun. John Stewart is the best. I got introduced to him in the JL animated series. Ah, I need to get dressed. Do you? Do you really? Do you? Or can you just lay there in your jammies? That would be that would be neat. Oh, I haven't had a pajama day in ages. I haven't been able to have a pajama day because, I'm in my next play, which means Saturday rehearsals. I'm streaming on Sunday. I've also got a meeting that I'm going to be in a Zoom call with, and oh God, I haven't had a pajama day. Oh, doctor's appointment. Okay, clothing, although it might be fun to show up at a doctor's appointment wearing a onesie. Just saying. Yes, each line and color represent an aspect of the emotional spectrum, like green is will, yellow fear, orange is greed, blue is hope, and I forget the rest, but I'm sure others are willing to fill the blanks in. The JL and the JL Unlimited series were the best. See, this is the beautiful thing about this community, is that people can just bond over all kinds of things. It's my first one since surgery. Well, I know your doctor's going to be very impressed with you and your progress. And, it is, and I'd be willing to bet, considering how beautiful those sutures looked. So I would guess that they're probably going to take out the stitches if there are stitches to be removed. I also lately tried to look for parallels, artifacts from the waking world that followed and changed my dream. Like, for instance, I racked my brain to see if there was a DJ I was watching before or after the dream. No such DJ this time. Okay, so let's look at it. There may not have been a literal DJ, but let's look at what the DJ represents. Okay, so, what does a DJ do? A DJ creates an environment. A DJ creates an energetic frequency. And what they do is they impact, or they set the energy for a particular event. So, I mean, some DJs are doing, very more solemn type of things, some are more celebratory, some are just flat out silly. And so the DJ becomes the one who sets the stage, sets the energy, sets the emotion. So it might be interesting, in looking at the idea of someone who is outside of it. And I'm scrolling back up so I can check where it's like, okay, there was a DJ setting up. So the DJ hadn't started setting the energy of the environment, but there was no sound. So the DJ was setting up but hadn't started doing anything yet. Let's see. I'm gonna with the DJ and Ghost. So the fact that the DJ was kind of an astral sort of spiritual figure, consider that that might be representing either like a guardian spirit or a spirit that is coming in to set a particular emotional state, set up maybe a particular goal that, the DJ, as the one who basically inspires others to action, i.e., dancing, through manipulating energy, through finding that sweet spot, finding that sound, that frequency that sets things into motion. So consider that. Let's see. No, this is my primary care physician. She's doing a medical check. Nice. It'd be funny if they added a lantern core color for hungry to qualify this stream, because how we always end up talking about food. That is true. John Stewart was a black Vietnam veteran who, after the war, had PDSP, but it's really strong willpower to overcome great fear. Nice. Green is will, pink is love, purple compassion, orange is greed, yellow fear, red rage, white life, black death. See, that interests me, because the idea that, it's like, so how does a person, is it that they end up with a ring or a lantern color that reflects them, or is it where they are in that moment when, they come in contact with lantern? Blue is hope. I really did not know. Thank you for filling that in. Yeah. I mean, they're chosen. So they're chosen based on, like, if somebody is, orange, if they get if they're chosen for an orange one, does that mean that they're greedy? But then again, every single one of those things that are listed has both a light and a shadow side. So, is it like somebody who is strong-willed, somebody who wants to bring their will over other people? So it's like each one, and it is interesting. Will can be both positive and negative. Love can be both positive and negative. The light side of love would be that wonderful warm feeling of acceptance and safety, and that is your person, and and all kinds of lovely things. The shadow side of love is stalking and obsession and a desire for ownership. Compassion can be, that supportive, wonderful thing, or the shadow side of compassion is enabling. It is, just going along with whatever makes that person happy. Greed could be, I want all the stuff for myself, or greed can also be ambition. Greed can be that sense of, I deserve to have abundance in my life. I deserve to have all the things that would make me happy. I mean, technically, that's greed. Fear, again, fear can be, the terror that prevents you from being able to choose, or fear can, the light side of fear is wisdom and discernment. It is that thing that tells you, I will not put a bag on my head and run on to the expressway, because bad things can happen. I will not decide I'm going to go down the dark alley to check out that noise I hear while I'm alone and walking on the streets at night. Rage, the light side of rage is determination. It is conviction. It's that thing that says, I am not going to take this lying down. I am not going to be someone who, is, going to stand for this injustice. I am going to fight this. It's interesting. Thank you for filling that in. They are chosen. I think the DJ was ancillary to the augmented reality narrative, and the dream was about being immersed in video games. And I view myself as having failed my mom and previous generations by not teaching them digital environments. And the nod to my grandparents was that as much as my generation has a place in simulated environments, the older generation has a place in environments that are carried more spiritually. That is tremendously insightful, Red. I I I like where you're going with this. And I like that this has kind of inspired you to, peel back those layers. That's cool. With green, it says something like Hal Jordan of Earth. You have the ability to overcome, get fear, welcome to the Green Lantern Corps. Ah, okay. Red makes the user have more anger. There's only one orange lantern because greed. Hmm. So is there like only one lantern? Orange is very sad. Last I remember, because there was only one member of the Orange Corps, and it literally hogs the Orange Lantern for itself, if I recall right. Yeah, it's a hog, but in order to get white, you have to master all rings. Ah, now is that the same for black? Because if black is death, which then technically you have to define what death is. So, it is that's interesting. I mean, I only knew about the one Green Lantern, it was back in the old days before everybody started getting creative and having more than one ending. And I mean, when back in the 60s, I think we only really talked about one Green Lantern, but I wasn't heavy into comic books. You'd have to talk to my husband. He was definitely into comic books. I think it was like in the 70s. When did the multiple lanterns come out? One of you comic aficionados would know that. When did multiple um lanterns come out? Yeah, the Red Lantern core ring is a ring you don't want because if the user takes it off, you die, and it's extremely tragic. I heard Abused Cat was chosen for the Red Lantern core ring. Cool. Blue Lantern is a weaker lantern core because their support. They're both willpower. Okay, what was blue is hope. Ah, that was, you know, and even hope can have a shadow side, because the shadow side of hope is deluding yourself and convincing yourself that a horrible situation doesn't exist and that all you have to do is wait or think good thoughts and everything will be fine, when no, I mean, hope is an amazing, wonderful thing. And I would never count on hope by itself for anything. It's like, okay, hope becomes the fuel. It's sort of like the old saying, prepare for the worst, then hope for the best. And being able to accept that it's like, okay, I hope that things work out. And if they don't, I have a plan. I'm not just going to sit and, hope without, it's like, people who hope for a winning lottery ticket. Now, every once in a while I will play the lottery because I mean, somebody's got to win. And I have a nice time just imagining what I would do. And it's like, wow, if I won this and I do this and I do that, and I'd visit every single person who comes into the stream. I'd just fly to wherever they are and visit them. And after a while, I realized it's like, I can save myself a couple of dollars and just do that anyway, you know. And then the space docking was a nod to the genres that are beyond my comfort zone, but that space is something that is future coded to be part of our lives, and it showed me it was there for me when I'm ready for it, and that it's not against me. Nice! Trust in the Force. I've always had a problem with space because of claustrophobia and fear of heights, but that docking was a strength in my dream. Nice. I mean, and it's really cool when we end up see, and that's why I always tell people that they do have their answers inside of them. They just need the right questions to reach it. And sometimes those right questions come in different forms, but they always come when we're ready to get the answer. Because if we're not ready to get the answer yet, okay, we're not ready. But, that is kind of cool. That was a very cool dream, Red. Thank you so much for sharing it. And sometimes, and there are things that I call not a, I used to call them not a dreams. And it's when you have a dream, but there's a sense of reality to it. There's something that is, well, quite literally not a dream. And there's something very solid, at least for me. It feels solid. And when I wake up, it stays with me. It, is still there. And it's almost like there's an answer there, but I'm not quite sure what it is. But I remember it in immense detail. I mean, I've had not dreams or not a dreams that I had when I was a child that I still to this day remember every single detail of. And that doesn't happen from most of my dreams, like regular dreams. By the time I'm like 2 to 3 hours into my day, I could not describe it, for anything. Let's see, it's interesting because that can get into where was Crichton's Green Lantern when it was in danger. Ah! Okay, as soon as I saw Crichton, I thought about one of the characters in Red Dwarf. Fist bump, high five if you know Red Dwarf. What gets me is how complex the procedurally generated environments can be. Like details were all filled in. Yeah. I mean, the brain is almost limitless in its capacity to create. They aren't about to stop a planet from exploding. They can't save them, but where will they go? Ah, I don't know. Maybe a different dimension. See, that's what they should have. They should have like a lantern that like opens portals into others' realities and stuff. Lady Hawk used to own the Red Dwarf series on VHS. Okay. Lady Hawk. All right. If you know the thing, you know the song. It's cold outside, there's no kind of atmosphere, I'm all alone, more or less. Sing with me. Let me fly far away from here. Fun, fun, fun. In the sun, sun, sun. I want to lie shipwrecked and comatose, drinking fresh mango juice. Goldfish shoals nibbling at my toes. Fun, fun, fun. In the sun, sun, sun. Fun, fun, fun. In the sun, sun, sun. Yes! See, I know. Lady Hawk is singing with me. More or less. Lol, I feel like the brain is an access device in the case of dreams. Sure, it processes, but I'm of the belief that dreams are celestial in origin. Yep, that goes with like those not dreams that I've had dreams where and then it's like it's lucid dreaming, but it's a different lucid dreaming. Some are made in the brain, but the ones that mean something I feel come from another place. Absolutely. With a GL ring is dangerous because if you believe you're weak to, I don't know, wood, then you will be. Ah. Okay, am I the only one when I read the word wood, I immediately thought, how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? All the wood that a woodchuck could if a woodchuck could chuck wood. I don't know why that immediately came to my brain. Maybe because it's a Friday, maybe because I probably haven't gotten quite as much sleep as I needed. But how many of you knew that little limerick thing? Because most people only know the first part. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Most people don't know that the second part is all the wood that a woodchuck could if a woodchuck could chuck wood. I did. Yes. See, fire netter. Yee, twinsies. Oh my God, I grew up with that one. I think there are dreams that help you process the world universe, dreams that help the world universe process you, and dreams that are a vision. Exactly. I ding 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 agree 100%. And in many indigenous traditions, dreams are tremendously important, and it's called the dream time. And the dream time is a tremendously powerful space to be in because of the fact that that is when, you go into that gray zone in between realities. And that is when the spirit world. I've literally had relatives who have passed who came back and told me things, and that everything ended up falling into place exactly as it was described to me. So yeah, I've spoken to a few relatives who passed, and it was in the dream time. So yeah, that's absolutely. By the way, Golden Age GL is weak to wood. What do you think deja vu is? Well, okay, okay. My theory, and I'm old and I believe a lot of interesting things. To me, okay, deja vu, and for those of you who don't know that term, it is the intense feeling that you have experienced a moment before. And I mean, not just like, oh, well, this is kind of familiar. No, you have seen and experienced that exact experience. Now, because of the fact that I believe all time is taking place at the exact same time, the past, the present, and the future are all taking place right now, but just in different places, in different realms. So to me, deja vu means that there's been a connection made between two different realms where it's not that, oh, I remember that, or I feel like I experienced this before. To me, you're experiencing it now, but it's just that other version of you that is in that timeline. It's like that being is having the experience now at the same time that you're connecting with it. So you're actually experiencing it as your other self in that other timeline. So, yeah. Okay, you had to watch out for comedians saying terrible knock-knock jokes. I get that a lot. Yeah. Here's one for you. What if it's coding a save point? Save file. That is true. I mean, maybe it isn't. I'm having an arm issue. What is the arm issue? I'm telling you, we're all over the place on this. And yes, Fire Nutter, technically, we did talk about food because we talked about pizza, and Jay is claiming I even bought my own anchovies. Jay is claiming that there will be no anchovies involved. Then again, we don't know. And okay, am I the only one who actually likes drinking the juice that's in the sardine can? And I also like drinking the oil that is in the anchovy can. Am I the only one who does that while Kim is, describing the arm issue? I cannot be the only one. I seriously can't. I mean, and whether it's sardines and oil, whether it's sardines and water, I love drinking that juice. I cannot be the only one. I mean, Arby doesn't. He thinks I'm weird for it. But, I think it's the last in the line of parallel universes deciding on the best case scenario, personally. Good point. What's the cheapest meat? Deer meat, because it was under a buck. We are going to have to dig a special sub basement that goes almost to the core of the planet to take the Punderdome dungeon down to the level of Tartarus. That is a Tartarus level pun, although it's actually pretty funny, and I don't think I've ever actually heard that one. To the Punderdome with that. That goes to the Tartarus Punderdome. Although Fire Nutter, I am impressed with it. Oh, the cheapest meat. See, here I thought you were going to talk something about anchovies. Dear meat because it was under $1. I am torn between cringing and admiration. So frustrating. What's the arm issue, hun? Is it like pain, numbness, tingling, uh muscle weakness? Yeah, I immediately go into Dr. Brain. I mentioned to somebody who was having some shoulder problems, and I was looking at her and I said, you need a new bra." And she looked at me like, "What?" I said, "Get a new bra. You need a new bra." And it was like, she looks at me and goes, "It's been a long time since I've gotten one." Why did the tofu not cross the road? To prove it wasn't chicken. Okay, that one goes to the Tartarus level. But again, this is one that I don't think I've heard. And I'm old. I've heard almost all the. Okay, that is good. That is good. It makes me want to cringe, and it makes me pucker inside a little bit. It's like, really, really, but there's something intriguing about it. Yet, to the Tartarus Punderdome dungeon it goes. So that way the deer meat has some company. And again, we're talking about food. I can't lift it past a certain point. It doesn't hurt. It just feels like someone's holding it back. Ah, okay. So considering the nature of the surgery you had, yeah, there can probably be still a little bit of inflammation. And what that's going to do is, because, the nerve comes down like through here, down. So, and the fact that it's not pain, so then that means it's a motor nerve. So it's specifically a motor nerve, and that's probably just due that you still have a little bit of inflammation going. And that may take a little bit of time in order to resolve. I'm watching you. I'm watching both of you, Fire Nutter and Red. I'm watching both of you. Okay, but those were good. Those were good. Were they not good? Yes, they were good. Arby agrees. But they're still going to Tartarus. We'll talk later. Arby's being very feisty today. Yes, as people think, the doc needs a nap. She's talking to the stuffed bear and she thinks it's talking to her. Hey, you're not crazy as long as you know that the multiple voices in your head are not actually other people. Doc quote 2026. It is a lot. My brain is going brr and going to panic mode. Yep. And the fact that, again, it is a neural response to inflammation that could be, affecting the nerve a little bit. This is still very, very recent. Your procedure was not long ago at all. It was very recent. So that means that, and it can take months for all of that inflammation to go down. And we always want to get up and we want to do things, especially just because we feel better doesn't mean we are better. So the idea that now you're being more aware, now that the pain is receded, you're becoming more aware of other, all of the secondary physical things that go on after a surgical procedure. So, it's about going, it's like, okay, this is just now, I'm still healing. And to repeat that to yourself, I'm still healing. I am still healing. I am healing, but I'm not fully healed yet. That's going to take time. I'm still healing. And sometimes it can get difficult because we create a story. And once we start creating stories about what we think we should be able to do, what we want to do, I mean, you're actually further along than most people would be. You're not okay yet. This is, you feel better. You are not better. You just feel better. And so understanding that there's multiple layers to healing. And that's the frustrating part. And that comes across on everything, when we've experienced something that can trigger grief, when we've experienced a major stress, when we are feeling anxious about something, all of those things, our logical brain can tell us, well, this is not a concern or whatever, but it's that imaginative side, that side that starts to create stories where there wasn't one. What is that you had a surgical procedure and you're healing. The creative brain has got to go someplace where it can create anxiety, where it can create some sort of intense reaction, whether that's saying, oh, the guy in the drive-through who smiled at me, he must be in love with me, and oh my gosh, we're going to have the best kids, and I'm going to go back by and he's going to say something neat to me, or when we imagine in our minds, how someone is like, oh, well, they're really attracted to me and whatever. Our brain has created that. That is not based in reality. It is based in assumption. And because of the fact that you spent so much time with a very high level of anxiety, your brain got used to that level of anxiety. So there's a part of us that we want to feel normal. Anxiety felt normal, pain felt normal. And now that the pain is receding, it's almost like your brain wants to recreate the chemical reaction that creates the state it's accustomed to. And so it's like, oh, I'm having, I'm trying to lift my arm, but there's some resistance. Left brain says, we're healing from a surgical process. There's inflammation that could be going on, that a condition cannot be judged while you're still in the early parts of a healing process. The creative side that wants a story, oh my gosh, and this is a reason to be anxious, and this is a reason to be anxious, and what if it's a sign, what if I'm never going to be able to lift my arm again, which none of that is fact. It's all created. So which comes back to, if we're going to tell ourselves a story, can't we tell ourselves a good one? It is, it's rough though. And I found that alcohol is not something I can partake in safely. Wish me luck quitting yet again. Hey, sweetheart, you don't need luck because you're an amazing, awesome human being, and you are going to move through this process, and in the process there's stuff you're going to be learning about yourself. There is a lot that you're going to be learning about yourself that you do every time that this process comes into your life, and being able to just go, okay, what is it that I'm learning now? Because you're learning each time, you're going to a deeper level with it. So it's like, all right, what am I going to learn this time? Because each round gives you something. It gives you a deeper knowledge of yourself and takes you deeper into who you are. And so I wish you every blessing. I wish you every possible blessing, that this will lead you to a deeper awareness of yourself, which is the gift that it gives. I'm telling myself that. I just think today is a diaper day emotion wise. Well, yeah. I mean, you've been through something very traumatic, sweetie. You've been through something, surgical procedures are no joke. They're traumatizing on multiple levels. And so now it's almost like working through a grief process. So it makes absolute sense what you're going through. My dog had a full hip replacement 8 weeks ago. The wound is healed. The leg is still very weak, and his foot hasn't quite woken up yet. I have to put a little boot on him to correct his foot position. It takes time. Yeah, and each moment moves us closer to it. I'm ready to go home. Well, and Blade Zeus coming in just as we're finishing. Samurai, as far as I understand, is infighting left side of the brain versus right side. Yes, greetings everyone. Greetings, hello. And it is 12:02, which means I've got to start getting ready to head back to work. So we literally have 1 hour, and to me it seems so short, but it's better than nothing. And everybody take care. Have a lovely, lovely weekend. We will see you on Sunday. So everyone have an amazing rest of your Friday. Have an amazing tomorrow. And always remember that you are the only you in all the universe. You're the only you that's ever been and the only you that will ever be. And what that does is it makes you special. It makes you sacred. And most of all, it makes you necessary. Because as the only you in all of the universe wouldn't be the same or complete without you. So, everyone, have an amazing morning, afternoon, evening, or night. May you walk gently with the world. May the world walk gently with you. And as always, I wish you balance and I wish you blessings from my heart to yours. So, have a good day. Learn something new. I'm proud of you and I love you. Keep thinking. Keep those puns going. Have a good day, Doc. Take care, everyone. Take care. Everybody, we'll see you on Sunday. Bye.
Emerald Queen, where the game